Have you ever wondered why some people seem to just get things that others miss completely? Why certain individuals can walk into a room and instantly sense the mood, predict what's going to happen next, or come up with solutions that nobody else thought of? Well, if you're one of those people, you might just have an INFJ brain, and trust me, that's something pretty special. You see, INFJs make up only about 1 to 2% of the population, which means their brains are literally wired differently than most folks walking around. And I'm not just talking about personality quirks here, we're talking about actual neurological differences that make these individuals process the world in ways that can seem almost magical to everyone else. So stick around, because today we're diving deep into the 12 most fascinating ways the INFJ brain operates on a completely different level. Whether you're an INFJ yourself trying to understand why you think the way you do, or you're curious about someone in your life who seems to have this mysterious sixth sense about everything, this video's gonna blow your mind. 1. The intuitive processing powerhouse. Let's start with the big one, that famous INFJ intuition everyone talks about. But here's the thing most people don't realize. It's not some mystical superpower. It's actually how their brains process information at lightning speed without them even knowing it's happening. The INFJ brain is constantly collecting tiny details, micro-expressions, tone changes, and environmental cues that most other people completely miss. While you're focused on what someone's saying, an INFJ's brain is also processing how they're standing, the slight hesitation in their voice, the way their eyes moved when they mentioned a specific topic, and about 50 other subtle signals. Then, their brain takes all this information and runs it through their internal database of patterns and experiences faster than you can blink. The result? That gut feeling that seems to come out of nowhere but is actually based on incredibly sophisticated data processing. This is why INFJs often know something's wrong before anyone else does, or why they can predict how situations are going to play out. Their brains are literally built to be pattern recognition machines, constantly scanning for connections and possibilities that others miss entirely. 2. The emotional radar system. Now, here's where things get really interesting. INFJs don't just notice emotions, their brains are wired to absorb them like emotional sponges. Scientists have found that highly sensitive people, which includes most INFJs, have more active mirror neurons than the average person. Mirror neurons are basically the brain cells that fire when we observe others' actions and emotions, helping us understand and empathize. But in INFJs, these neurons are working overtime. When you're feeling stressed, an INFJ's brain is literally experiencing a version of that stress too. When you're happy, they're getting a hit of those good feelings as well. This isn't just being empathetic, it's neurological. Their brains are processing other people's emotional states as if they were their own experiences. That's why INFJs often need time alone after being around others. They're not being antisocial, they're literally giving their overstimulated emotional processing centers time to reset. It's like having emotional Wi-Fi that's always connected to everyone around them. Pretty amazing, but also pretty exhausting when you think about it. 3. The deep focus factory. Here's something that sets INFJ brains apart from the crowd. They're built for deep, sustained focus rather than multitasking. While other personality types might thrive on juggling multiple projects at once, the INFJ brain works best when it can dive deep into one thing at a time. Research shows that INFJs have higher activity in their prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for deep thinking, planning, and complex problem solving. This means when they're really engaged with something, they can maintain focus for hours without getting bored or distracted. But here's the catch. This deep focus wiring also means they struggle more with interruptions than other types. When an INFJ is in their zone and someone breaks their concentration, it's not just annoying, it's neurologically jarring. Their brain literally needs time to shift gears and get back into that deep state. This is why INFJs often do their best work in quiet environments where they can think without interruption. They're not being difficult. Their brains just function better when they can maintain that focused flow state. 4. The future-oriented prediction engine. Most people live pretty firmly in the present, maybe thinking a little bit about tomorrow or next week. But INFJ brains are constantly running simulations of future possibilities. It's like having a crystal ball that's powered by pattern recognition and intuitive processing. This future-focused thinking happens because INFJs have strong connections between their intuitive centers and their planning areas. Their brains are constantly asking what if and what happens next, and running through different scenarios based on current information. That's why INFJs are often the ones saying things like, "I have a feeling this isn't going to work out," or "something tells me we should prepare for this possibility." They're not being pessimistic or overly cautious. Their brains are just naturally wired to anticipate future outcomes based on present patterns. This forward-thinking ability makes them excellent at long-term planning and avoiding potential problems, but it can also make them seem like they're always worried about things that haven't happened yet. 5. The perfectionist processing center. Now, let's talk about something that can be both a blessing and a curse for INFJs: their brain's relationship with perfectionism. INFJ brains have heightened activity in areas related to self-monitoring and quality control. This means they're constantly evaluating their own thoughts, actions, and output against internal standards. It's not just about wanting things to be perfect. Their brains are literally wired to notice imperfections and inconsistencies more readily than other types. When an INFJ is working on something, their brain is running continuous quality checks in the background, comparing what they're doing to their internal vision of how it should be. This can lead to incredible attention to detail and high-quality work, but it also means INFJs often struggle with analysis paralysis. Their brains keep finding things to improve or perfect, making it hard to feel satisfied with good enough. Understanding this neurological tendency helps explain why INFJs often take longer to complete projects or why they might seem overly critical of their own work that others think is already excellent. 6. The overstimulation warning system. Here's a big one that affects INFJs daily. Their brains process sensory information more intensively than most other types. This isn't just about being sensitive to loud noises or bright lights. It's about how their nervous systems handle all kinds of stimulation. INFJ brains have what researchers call sensory processing sensitivity, which means they notice subtleties in their environment that others miss, but they also reach their stimulation threshold much faster. Think of it like having more sensitive antennae that pick up more signals, but also get overwhelmed more quickly. This is why INFJs often need to retreat to quiet spaces, why they might feel drained after busy social events, or why they prefer smaller gatherings to large parties. Their brains are processing way more information than they consciously realize, and all that background processing is mentally exhausting. It's not weakness or antisocial behavior, it's just how their neurological systems are designed. They experience the world in high definition, which is amazing but also requires more mental energy to process. 7. The meaning-making machine. Most people can be content with surface-level interactions and activities, but INFJ brains are constantly searching for deeper meaning and significance. This isn't just a personality preference, it's actually how their neural pathways are structured. INFJs have strong connections between their analytical centers and their value processing areas, which means their brains are always asking, "Why does this matter?" and "What's the deeper significance here?" They can't help but look for patterns, themes, and underlying meanings in everything they encounter. This is why small talk feels so draining for many INFJs. Their brains are literally wired to seek depth and meaning, so surface-level conversations don't engage their natural processing style. It's like trying to use a powerful computer to do simple calculations. It works, but it's not utilizing the brain's natural strengths. When INFJs find conversations or activities that align with this meaning-seeking tendency, they come alive in ways that can surprise people who've only seen them in more superficial interactions. 8. The internal world generator. Here's something fascinating about INFJ brains. They spend a significant amount of their processing power on internal mental activity. Brain imaging studies show that INFJs have higher activity in areas associated with internal reflection and imagination compared to more extroverted types. This means that while you might be focused on what's happening around you, an INFJ's brain is simultaneously running internal commentary, making connections to past experiences, imagining future possibilities, and processing the deeper implications of current events. It's like having a rich inner movie playing in their heads while also participating in the outer world. This internal processing power is where a lot of their insights and creative ideas come from, but it also means they can sometimes seem distracted or like they're not fully present. The truth is, they're incredibly present. They're just present to both the external world and their complex internal landscape at the same time. 9. The harmony detection system. INFJ brains are uniquely wired to detect and respond to harmony and discord in their environment. They have heightened sensitivity to conflict, tension, and imbalance, which can make them excellent mediators but also means they absorb stress from interpersonal friction more intensely. When there's conflict in a group, an INFJ's brain doesn't just notice it, it actually experiences physiological stress responses as if they were directly involved in the conflict. This is because their mirror neuron systems and emotional processing centers are so active. This harmony-seeking wiring makes INFJs natural peacekeepers who can often see all sides of an issue and find common ground. But it also means they can become overwhelmed in consistently conflictual environments, even when the conflict doesn't directly involve them. Their brains are essentially programmed to seek balance and harmony, which is a gift in many situations but can also be a source of stress when they can't find or create that balance. 10. The long-term memory vault. INFJs have fascinating relationships with memory. Their brains seem to be particularly good at storing and retrieving emotionally significant experiences and details that connect to patterns or future possibilities. While they might forget where they put their keys, they can remember exactly how someone looked when they told a meaningful story 5 years ago, or recall specific details about conversations that seemed important at the time. Their brains appear to prioritize emotional and pattern-based memories over mundane factual information. This selective memory system supports their intuitive abilities because they can draw on a rich database of emotionally tagged experiences to inform their present decisions and future predictions. It's like having a specialized filing system that keeps the most relevant information easily accessible. This is why INFJs often surprise people by remembering things that seemed insignificant at the time but turned out to be important later on. 11. The Authenticity Detector. One of the most remarkable aspects of INFJ brain wiring is their ability to detect authenticity versus facade in others. Their combination of intuitive processing, emotional sensitivity, and pattern recognition creates what's essentially a built-in authenticity detector. When someone is being genuine, an INFJ's brain picks up on the consistency between their words, emotions, body language, and energy. When someone is being fake or manipulative, their brain notices the inconsistencies and sends up red flags, even if they can't consciously explain what's wrong. This isn't about being judgmental, it's neurological. Their brains are processing multiple channels of information simultaneously and cross-referencing for consistency. When the channels don't match up, they feel it as discomfort or distrust, even if they can't pinpoint exactly why. This authenticity detection system helps INFJs build deep, meaningful relationships with genuine people while avoiding those who might take advantage of their empathetic nature. 12. The Energy Management Network. Finally, let's talk about how INFJ brains handle energy differently than other types. Their neurological wiring means they use more mental energy for processing the same experiences that other types handle more casually. Think of it this way. If most people's brains are like efficient compact cars that get good gas mileage, INFJ brains are more like high-performance sports cars that deliver incredible results but use more fuel in the process. All that deep processing, emotional absorption, pattern recognition, and intuitive analysis requires significant mental energy. This is why INFJs often need more downtime, why they might feel exhausted after social interactions that energize other types, and why they need to be more intentional about managing their energy levels. Their brains are doing so much background processing that they don't even realize is happening. It's like running multiple sophisticated programs on a computer simultaneously. It gets great results, but it also uses more resources. Understanding this energy dynamic is crucial for INFJs to take care of themselves and for others to understand why INFJs might need different things to feel balanced and energized. Conclusion. So there you have it, 12 fascinating ways the INFJ brain operates differently than most other personality types. From their intuitive processing powerhouse to their unique energy management needs, these neurological differences explain so much about how INFJs experience and interact with the world. If you're an INFJ, hopefully this helps you understand that you're not weird or overly sensitive, you're just wired differently, and that wiring comes with both incredible strengths and specific challenges. Your brain's ability to process patterns, emotions, and possibilities at such a deep level is genuinely remarkable. And if you're not an INFJ but have one in your life, maybe this gives you some insight into why they might need quiet time after social events, why they seem to know things they shouldn't know, or why they're so good at understanding what you need even before you realize it yourself. The INFJ brain is like a highly sophisticated instrument that can pick up signals and make connections that other types miss entirely. It's not better or worse than other brain types. It's just different, and understanding those differences can help everyone appreciate the unique contributions that INFJs bring to the world. Remember, personality types are just one way of understanding human differences, and every individual is unique regardless of their type. But hopefully, exploring these neurological patterns helps explain some of the mysteries behind the INFJ experience and validates those who sometimes feel like they're operating on a completely different wavelength than everyone else. Because the truth is, they are, and that's exactly what makes them so valuable. What resonated most with you from today's exploration? Drop a comment below and let me know which of these INFJ brain differences surprised you the most, or if you're an INFJ yourself, which ones made you feel most understood. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into personality psychology and the fascinating world of how our brains shape who we are.